one of my dad's famous sayings is play on your front foot, mate. So he has a few other ones like squeeze it, but we thought that would be a little awkward to be hanging up there for a long time for people that didn't know my dad. So we're going to have a few different people speak tonight. We're going to have a few little surprises here and there. Nothing too crazy. Lindsley, hopefully wherever he is, he's keeping his clothes on tonight and not going to do a little dance for everybody. But you never know. Get a couple cocktails in him and we might get a show. So first up, we got a bit of a surprise. We're going to have Ian Pound come up. Ian Pound has been a good family friend of ours for a long time. Works with Wilson, and we're going to give him the mic, and he's got something here pretty cool.
Thank you, mate. All right, what a great turnout tonight, and for obviously someone who is, the greatest of all time for here, Pensacola tennis, Brian Sakey. Well, being on the greatest of all time sort of subject, when Brock came to me about 3 weeks ago and sort of let me know what was going on, true story, I reached out to Roger Federer and I explained to Roger, true story, you'll see in a minute. I explained to Roger what was going on and just what Brian meant to this community here in Pensacola. At the time, Roger was in the first couple of rounds of Wimbledon, but he promised he wanted to do something for tonight. He wanted to sort of contribute something tonight for Brian. The plan was to get Roger to sign one of his rackets after he finished Wimbledon and sign it over to Brian type thing. That final of Wimbledon didn't go exactly the way he wanted to go. So he jumped on a plane immediately after he lost that match, went on vacation for a few days, and I thought, I've lost that window of opportunity to get Roger to do it for me. But Roger being Roger, and for any of you who've ever met the guy, he is just one of the greatest human beings on earth. And he held on to his promise to me. And when he landed in Canada on Wednesday, he immediately sat down, he signed a racket, he put a little message on the racket to Brian. My goal was to get the racket here for tonight to present to Brian. Didn't quite work out. So, and Roger, in his true fashion, he took some pictures of himself with the racket and with the little, the message on there for Brian. So tonight I'd like to present Brian. And on the message, Roger wrote, Brian, I hope to play on your court one day and just keep up the good fight. So, just to say.
Well, good luck to whoever speaks next. Hopefully you talk to Rafa Nadal or Serena Williams or something, because he set the bar pretty high. So next up, we're going to have Mayor Robinson come out and say a few words. So come on out, Mr. Mayor. Thank you so much for being here. Y'all can sit down over there.
Brock, thank you so much, and thank you all for being out here. I didn't expect to be here, so I was a little bit of a surprise, but that's good. I did not get a chance to speak to any pros, but I will say there are several people my age who are great juniors, and you taught them and you did well. And I tried. I was here at Roger Scott, and you were at the country club, and I moved to the country club, and you moved to the racket club. I think it's pretty much because you said, I don't want to teach that guy. It'll never work out. But I just try to get the ball over. But I've certainly appreciated for years as a junior coming along, the things you did for this community. Now where we are today, and what we see the tennis community of Pensacola becoming and being, it's great to see this many people out. It's great to see this happening in Pensacola. We're excited. We think we got a lot of great recreational facilities, a lot of things happening, and we're very excited about the opportunity to have you as part of our tennis court It says a lot. You've put a lot into the tennis community of Pensacola, and we just want to say thank you so much for what you've done. And we do have to dot a few I's and cross a few T's, but we're going to get that done. And as soon as we get that done, it'll be hanging, and we'll be very happy to have it. And I'll be the first looking to come out here on the Brian Sakey court and come play. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's my boss, so everyone stay on your best behavior tonight, please. Next up, we're gonna have Mike Edens come up. My dad used to coach Mike back in the 80s, and then now my dad has come full circle and coaches both of Mike's kids. So pretty cool story, and just kind of shows how old he is.
Yeah, thanks, Brock and Cross and Rhonda for letting me say a few words. Brian has been a big part of all of our lives. He promotes and loves tennis and connects with people through tennis. There's some kids over here I want to stand up, and adults that he made these shirts for Michael and Lizzie, and Melissa, and Graham. Passion inspires greatness. What we learned in the 80s from Brian, and that he continues to teach us, is that you prepare. They're not only tennis skills, but they're life skills. You prepare for the match, you play off your front foot, you keep fighting, and you stay positive. And my favorite is you finish strong. So he's inspired these kids through hitting with them every Wednesday and telling them that he wants them to find their passion, because passion will inspire greatness. And I started hitting with Brian in 1984 when I was 14. My sister was already playing with him and hitting with him. My parents said, just go to one lesson. And I didn't want to go. And I went to one lesson in 1984, 35 years ago, and it's been the relationship of a lifetime. And my daughter Maggie also hits with Brian. She was playing softball, and I wanted her to stay in shape during the off season. She was playing competitive softball, and she started hitting with Brian, and they formed a relationship. And she informed me that she was going to take up tennis instead of softball. And her softball coach is here too tonight because he wanted to meet Brian, and he's right over there. But my parents are here, and I feel like I'm representing a bunch of people from the 80s. Bloomberg's here, Danny Herman's here. I know I'm leaving out a lot of people, but I got the opportunity to say a few words, but I feel like I'm representing all of us for the values and principles that he instilled in us, not just in tennis, but we take it throughout our whole life. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Next up, somewhere out there, we got Bonnie Whitkin. She's got a little special prize for you or something, too. She's got to make her way up here. Oh, it fits in a purse. All right, nice. I think this has to do with something that you used to do back in the club days, but I'm not entirely sure. I got a general idea.
We'll see. So at our old facility at the club, some of y'all might remember, at the end of every Ladies League season, Brian would host a potluck awards luncheon. And so there are all these different individual awards. Some are for the most improved player. Some was for the best record for the season. Some are for like the worst line caller. The one that I won one year was the loudest person on the court. Apparently I sounded like Sharapova. I think Jean put my name in for that. Thank you. Anyways, but the most coveted award was the Golden Panty Award. That was like the all-time best award for just being the most awesome player out there, I guess. I never got it. But anyways, so I think it's time for someone else to get the Golden Panty Award. Except I don't think he wear panties. I mean, does he, Rhonda? So instead what I have is the Golden Brief Award. And the Golden Grape Award awarded to Brian Sakey for being the best person we know. And this is for being a doting husband, a nurturing father, a mentor to so many people out here, and just a really good friend to everybody out here.
Got a phone call.
And he's got a phone call. One of his other friends. So this is for you, and we love you.
There we go, mate. Oh, he likes this one, huh? He likes this one. They say a little small for him? That's not what Rhonda said. You set me up for it. Again, y'all, I want to thank everybody. As you could tell, he was very surprised. When we put it on Facebook, everyone started panicking. Brock, what are you thinking? What are you doing? It's on Facebook. I'm like, guys, Facebook involves the internet. My dad doesn't do the internet. Unless it involves like horse racing in the outback at 3 a.m. in the morning. You'll walk out in the kitchen and like my dad's yelling at the computer screen. I'm like, what the heck are you doing? He's like, oh, just watching the races. So, but I remember when I first got into tennis, I was down at UCF. I was working in the summers, and I had a long day at work. I had, kids hitting me with rackets, ladies telling me that there's too much spin on my feeds, men complaining that they don't get enough court time. I don't know if any of that sounds familiar, but I called my dad and I was like, Dad, how do you do this? It's just so hot. Like all this stuff is going on all the time. What drives you to do this? He's like, Brock, I don't think you see the big picture yet. I don't think you can realize like how many lives that you'll be able to touch by continuing on this path. And you don't realize a lot of times as a tennis pro when you're out there with people, that might be the most thing that they look forward to all week is just coming out there and having that tennis lesson. It might not seem like much to a lot of people, but to some, they work extra shifts, they work a second job, they do certain things just so they can come out there and play tennis. And whenever you play tennis with my dad, you're getting a lot more than a tennis lesson. You're getting a friend for life, you're getting a mentor, you're getting a father figure. I mean, I know people have gone to him for marriage advice, TBD. Ron, is it working? Not working, but hey, he can still give the advice whether it works or not. So, I mean, obviously, with what he's gone through the last 4.5 years, it's truly incredible that he's still been out here as much as he has and carrying on with the spirit that he has. Because, even this week, if you take this week, for example, he taught 3 hours in the morning. He went and had like his stomach pumped. He got like 3 liters of fluids drained out of it. And then he's back here by like 3 o'clock and he's back on the court teaching again. It doesn't make any sense. But that's what drives him. That's what makes him so special. Like I said, my dad obviously was my coach growing up, but I don't remember one thing he ever told me about hitting a forehand or hitting a serve or anything. That's probably why my strokes are pretty ugly. But he just taught nonstop life lessons about fighting, about competing, about never giving up. And he's really taken that attitude to himself during the last 4.5 years during his fight with cancer. And he's still here standing strong. So give him a quick round of applause. Just as your son, I can't be more proud, and I know we've had a lot of ups and a lot of downs, but I wouldn't have had it any other way. And on behalf of Ross, Kelly, Rhonda, I know how much we all love you and the impact that you've made on all of our lives, along with everybody else here. That pause for clapping was just so I could stop crying for a second. But I just want to let you know how much we love you, and I want to thank you for being my best friend, and we all love you with all of our heart. I mean, the fact that we got to turn out like this on a short notice and we're able to keep it a surprise just shows you what a special person you are to this community. I mean, there's people from the Racket Club, the club, Roger Scott, Country Club. I think that's all you worked, but maybe somewhere else. Maybe you taught at Shoreline, I don't know. But yeah, just last, I want to thank a couple people. I mean, my dad has some of his college teammates here. Some of them I've never even met before, so thanks for coming. The Wedderburns came down, obviously. The Wedderburns are right there. The reason that my dad ended up in America, for better or worse. He dragged them over here to play some college tennis. The Pattersons came down from Atlanta. The Souls drove over, and I know Ryan, Sarah Beth, I think my dad's been like a second father for you guys as well. So once again, y'all, I just want to thank everybody that's here tonight, and we'll just have a good time and relax the rest of the night, and we'll give my dad the microphone for a second, see how he holds up. Thank you, guys.
Wow. Hope I can make it through this. I'll probably keep it kind of brief, like those briefs over there. This was a surprise. I did not know this was going to happen, and it's had kind of, like Brock said, had quite a few ups and downs the last couple of years, and it hasn't been easy. But my haven is the tennis courts as far as coming out, and I've always tried to go with the philosophy that I'm trying to treat the tennis lesson as the highlight of your day. And, you know, I tried to send you on your way and hope we've improved a little bit. And I just love my tennis. I know my dad, when I left Australia, he said, I want you to be a great ambassador to Australia and our family. And I kind of lived by that. It was a pretty good saying. Ambassador is just a fantastic word. And I've just enjoyed everywhere I've been. And it's not just about me, it's about the tennis community. We've got the strongest group of people I've ever seen come together, and everybody always needs a little help, and everybody that's always been in need we've always helped, and it's really a tribute to all of you. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I told Rhonda they're here to see you, Rhonda. She didn't buy it. Look at that. But anyway, I have to keep on fighting and keep going, and I see some friends here from Arkansas I went to college with that inspired me more than they know. And before the night's out, I just like to say hi to everybody and shake your hand and give me a hug, because I've said it a million times, a good hug that's about as good as I can have right now. Does that sound bad? God, why are you laughing? Talk about a confidence breaker. Jeez. But anyway, I'm doing pretty well, and this was fantastic to see everybody here and the people, and there's some people I haven't seen for a while, and my friend Steve and Anthony from Houston, and Joe and Bruce there from Arkansas on my tennis team, and everybody else I've worked with. There's quite a few of you I've worked with, so I don't have any other words. I was in shock, and I just want to thank everybody for coming out. I'll never forget this night, and hey, listen, have fun the rest of the night, and I'll get down and say hi, okay? Thank you very much.